great to be here, actually.
Thank you. Let's take a seat.
Thanks. It's nice to be seated. We woke up at 4 a.m. this morning just to make it here.
Welcome.
Well, the journey is all worth it. At least we are
you.
sitting and meeting with you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the time too.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And as you're aware, the Global Ethics Day, there are a couple of questions I hope you don't mind me asking you. So, as the Honourable Commissioner for Budget and Planning for Edo State, considering the importance of public trust in tax compliance, what role can public finance professionals play in fostering public trust to improve social contract gaps and fiscal revenue generation?
That's a very interesting question. And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this very interesting topic. The ACCA survey that was done recently out of the G20 countries actually showed that 73.9% of the respondents of the public actually have trust in professional accountants. So that was, for me, was quite a good percentage. And then 69.3% of respondents showed interest and thumbs up for international tax systems. So I think for me, it's very important for governments to support international tax systems and make it more coherent instead of them being very competitive. For professional accountants, I think one thing we can do is to continue to ensure proper accounting systems, proper tax accounting systems across all stakeholders of the entire ecosystem. Now, bringing this home to Nigeria, in 2019, the federal government issued an executive order called the Infrastructure Refurbishment and Investment Tax Credit Scheme. And the essence of this tax credit scheme was to support big businesses in ensuring that there was there's a rehabilitation of road networks across the geopolitical zones. So you have companies like Dangote, Boa Group, flour mills, working with the federal government to rehabilitate and develop roads, to open up roads to their businesses as well. And for this, what they get back is tax credits. So this really encouraged growth and trust in the tax ecosystem. Now, in Edo State, where I'm a commissioner, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki issued an executive order for the Infrastructure Development and Social Investment Tax Credit Scheme, supporting indigenes in the state with tax credit support to also get involved in road rehabilitation and refurbishment of roads. So they're closer to the farms and to the small businesses. So I think as professional accountants, we're doing a good job already in ensuring the implementation of the executive orders. I think globally, governments are also doing a fantastic job in ensuring there's coherence in tax systems and tax credits to encourage multinational businesses in doing businesses from one country to another.
Just moving on to ethics, how significant is ethics and professional skills development in the professionalization of public sector?
So that's a very interesting question, and one that I think has a lot of depth as a professional. So I'll say in the public sector, as you know, ethics is your moral compass, your sense of judgment, and applying this in your day-to-day activity is very important. Now, for the public sector, ensuring you have, accountants that behave ethical, you need to have continuous progressive development. Now, but this boils down to who you put at the helm of affairs. So ethics is a very interesting topic and says that if you have somebody who doesn't have the proper training in terms of accountability, integrity, honesty, and the key values, they won't be able to exercise this in their decision making.
Sure.
But if you have people who have the correct training, just like ACCA and other professional bodies, then you have people who have been given duty and they'll do that ethically in the public service. So I think what professional accountants will continue to do is continuous progressive development and continue to ensure that the values they've been trained with are used in their day-to-day activities.
Thanks for your response. So, With the increasing global focus on sustainability, reporting and assurance, what do you consider a key impact of this development on public finance management?
For us, so for me, I think my take on this would be that it's critical to continue to have stakeholder roundtables, continue to engage your stakeholders. Now, the essence of public finance is for public good. So the reason why people work in public service is because you want to channel funds or finance from the taxpayers' money towards health, education, schools, and the likes. So leaders and those in schools and those in professional offices have to ensure that they engage their stakeholders. Because when you engage your stakeholders, you have feedback. You know, and you can also communicate your work that's being done, and then you have feedback in terms of we're happy with this or we're not happy with that. So one way to ensure sustainability and to support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is to have constant communication. So I think my take would be communicate. Communicate where your challenges are. Communicate where your successes are. Communicate what your ethical issues are. And then the stakeholders will now know this is what this government is doing, and this is what they plan to do, and how they want to achieve it. This is my take for this question.
Thanks a lot. Obviously, it's engagement, communication, and you can never have enough of it. So, as we near the end of this conversation, I'd like to ask you 3 quick questions, and you give your answer in 1 word, including a yes or no, as you please. Okay. Do you think professional accountants are well equipped to provide the leadership that public sector organizations need? Yes or no?
So I'm not, well, this is not being biased, but of course, yes, professional accountants, you know, have the right training, the right capacity, skill, the right ingredients to actually lead in the public sector. So my answer to that would be yes.
You are obviously an FCCA and is a chartered accountant.
Correct.
So, and you're in the public sector. And then, of course, we know the leadership skills that you've exhibited over the years, so we have no doubt. But my next question will be, do you think the rise of artificial intelligence will lead to more ethical concerns for public sector finance professionals?
So the essence of artificial intelligence and machine learning is to make things a lot easier for all the stakeholders and for all the users that require AI.
Okay.
But you know, like they say, garbage in, garbage out. If you tell AI to look at 5-year accounts, for example, they will do it, but they won't look at all. AI doesn't have feelings. Can I say that in summary? So AI doesn't have feelings in terms of biases, in terms of your judgment. There are no feelings. And so AI will probably do things in ways that you don't expect they will do things. They'll pull up the result, but they won't think of bias. They won't think of gender equality. They won't think of fairness because they're not programmed to think about those kind of things. And so you don't want AI to work against you in a malicious way. So AI is fantastic. It's a much needed support system. ChatGPT, chatbox is good for customer service. It's good for risk management. It has its own advantages, but I think we'll lose control if we leave everything to AI. We'll lose jobs if we leave everything to AI. So there is the downside, and that bias towards artificial intelligence, but it's very critical, and I think it's a debate for another day.
What ethical concerns weighs mostly heavily on your mind as a public finance leader?
Transparency. Now, I just quickly want to mention the key functions as a professional accountant is to ensure that public resources are deployed to the critical areas of priority to the government. And so you have healthcare wanting support. You have education wanting support. You have women and child wanting support. So there's so many sustainability wanting support from the government, and this very, you know, the funds are not enough to go around all the sectors. So I think one ethical thing is a transparency and accountability in carrying out your function as a professional accountant in the public sector is critical. Another thing is deciding and working with government and being able to recommend accordingly to government the areas that they should prioritize. And it's different for different countries and for different state governments. So different state governments come with their different mandates. Some may not prioritize what others would prioritize. And so having to align the mandate of the government of the day and align them with critical sectors for sustainability and for social good is a very difficult and ethical task.
And as a closing thought, I'd like to ask your final words in 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds?
In 10 seconds.
Okay. So I think in a globalized world where we have misappropriation of funds and scandals everywhere, I think the leaders, professionals, schools, and all stakeholders alike should stand firm and take ethical actions in their daily living. It's critical that we're torchbearers and ensure that the change that we want to see has to start with us.
I really enjoyed this conversation, Adaze. Thank you very much. This is the last of our Ethics for a Better World series. You can watch this series in our ACCA YouTube channel, and you can deep dive on all the topics covered this week in our website and through our extensive research. From me and Adaze Uzor Kalu here in Nigeria, it is thanks very much and goodbye.